was too funny. That sound like the instant you develop, you know, a fear of dogs. I mean,
I love dogs. They love me. That was on me though.
Yeah.
Thanks to Tana, you know, I deserved that one.
Yeah, that tells a lot about, you know, your personality. Does that reflect kind of like who you are today? That person like poking a bear.
Yeah, well, yeah, somewhat. I'm very forgiving.
You're very forgiving. You wanted the dog that chased you. You're very forgiving.
It's kind of twisted, but.
That's funny. At a young age, do you feel, you said you're still friends with that one person, you say they make beats and they're, you know, creative and write music and things like that. How old or how young were you when you kind of discovered, you know, your own creativity? And
the first time that I had a poem published was in the 3rd grade, I think. I had a poem published in the 3rd grade, the American Anthology of Poetry. They used to have a little compilation books.
Mm-hmm.
The first song I wrote, I was like 12. So really my whole life, I feel like, yeah, my entire life I always remember being creative in school. I went to Charles Ellis Elementary School. I did plays, so I just always liked to write and kind of just feed off other people.
Yeah. You said in 3rd grade you had a poem published. What does a 3rd grader write about that gets published? If you can remember.
Really sadly, I can't remember exactly how the poem was, but I remember that I wrote it in the shape of a wine glass.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know why a 3rd grader would write a poem in the shape of a wine glass, but it was published. So. I don't know. And my mom didn't drink. She was, look, it's not mommy's fault. I'm not saying she influenced me.
That's funny. You need to follow that a little bit. Let's dig a little bit deeper and find out what happened. No,
no, let's not.
Definitely one of the passions that you guys share is creativity. And so when did you kind of start with, because you say you are an aspiring local musician here in Savannah, when did you kind of realize that is a talent that you have?
Ever since I could remember growing up, watching music videos, a lot of different music, riding with my pops. Used to listen to like Lauryn Hill, John Mayer, different hip hop. So it was always a different array of music. So at a young age, I was exposed to just different sounds. In 5th grade, I started playing the trombone. 6th grade, I played baritone. I tried the trumpet, but my lips was too big, so they didn't work out too long. Drums in church.
Wait, there's a lip requirement for the trumpet.
I couldn't pull it off.
See, I'm not a musician. I know. I play Guitar Hero. That's my Guitar Hero. And I'm really good at it, so y'all don't laugh at me. That's my extent. I didn't know, like, seriously, that was a thing. Yeah. So.
Keyboard. I had a little recital one time. Just always been around music and playing music. I used to really try to get away from rap and hip hop at one point in my life. Like, I guess listening to others saying how hard it would be and everybody trying to do it, this and that. Then it's just been different experiences, different omens, just a lot of different factors that contributed to me being at the point I'm at now and really taking it serious and seeing it as being a real success.
Yeah. I guess what would be like some of your influences? What would be some of, you know, like growing up, what you listened to that that was like, yeah, this is how I want to express myself?
I remember listening to a lot of Biggie and 50 Cent, especially in like, she don't like 50 Cent. But I was in like 4th grade, and I would go when we used to have our little break time or whatever, the teacher would let us leave. I'd go to the computer lab and print off lyrics. And I would sit there and like study lyrics whenever I wasn't in the computer lab and just read them and read them. So next time I heard the song, I would, know word for word and just reciting them.
Yeah.
So I guess like starting out with 50 Cent and then Gucci Mane. And then as I got older and my vocab and everything else improved, more creative artists like Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
And of that nature.
Yeah, cool. Personally, I know Jazzmyn writes poetry. Where are some of your influences, and does that translate over as well to music?
I love Maya
Mm-hmm.
Angelou. She's, I guess it translates into like me writing about my truth and not being afraid of what that is, and kind of. I love her because she inspires you to be okay with living your life. Erica Badu, Lauryn Hill. But I think for me, my music comes out of me. Like, I'm a big person when it comes to like shutting down, to be inspired by people, but to kind of like shut them off to a point where you can kind of be yourself. So I would say yes and no. My music kind of just is me.
Yeah. That's understandable. I mean, yeah, definitely. I can see that conflict when you want to be creative. You like the way this person does it, but you want to definitely put yourself in the spotlight. And sometimes there is that conflict, and you have to kind of separate yourself in order so that you can shine through, not just them, just be inspired by it. But yeah, I definitely understand that. I would ask you normally about, just kind of growing up here in Savannah, and so you guys kind of both grew up here from, you from since kindergarten. So what was your experience through school? Why are you
I'm listening.
Savannah. I'm trying to pick an experience to talk about school in Savannah, right? I was a real nerd, so my experience was that of the literal traditional, what you would say for that. I really focused on school, I guess, and things like that. But my experience with school in Savannah, I don't even know what to say. Savannah's an interesting place.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
I love Savannah because it teaches you, it's like in New York, they're like, if you can survive there, you can survive anywhere. I feel like Savannah's like that socially. If you can make it socially in Savannah, and thrive even from school to even being a business owner here and actually receiving support from these people or from us people, then you the one. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about Savannah. That's the most positive way I can say that. I love the city I'm from. It'll build you.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that has been my experience. Even with people that I've met that have been from, other places other than Savannah, I've heard that same type of expression, that socially, you gotta scratch and dig and claw your way into a circle and then pray that that's the right circle that you got into.
Right, that it's not, whew.
Yeah, that's interesting that was the experience even, kind of growing up as a kid. That's interesting. It always...
Embrace my awareness.
What was your experience kind of growing up here in Savannah socially? Since
socially, when I was in elementary and middle school, I was a little, somewhat small, so I was bullied a little bit. So then I had to get right. So high school, started lifting weights, and it was a no-go. But I wasn't going out and starting trouble or nothing, so As far as with making friends, I guess I made friends because I wasn't really concerned about making friends, and for some reason, that attracts people. So, like, by the time I hit senior year, I was walking around with my headphones, and then just be somebody latched alongside me. So, I guess I can survive anywhere as far as starting.
That's interesting.
He's the one.
He's one of the chosen, yeah. Isn't that interesting though? Like, you know, it's like, look, I put my headphones on, I shut them out, they want me. You know? That's funny.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Two very, very different experiences. We keep talking about the creative part because one is very much rooted in what you do on a regular basis. And tell a little bit about what you do and how you do what you do, so that, you know, there's some perspective, you know, on what we talk about.
Well, not recently, it's been a year that I have been an entrepreneur, that I've quit the bank and been working on my own, paying my bills on my own, so I feel good about that. But I have a company called Juicy Root, and what I do at Juicy Root is really just support small businesses. I do it now specializing in social media platforms, so I help them with forming their brand. So if you need a logo, you need a name, you need a catchphrase, you need images for your social media, the maintenance on your social media, so your Instagram and how it looks, your Facebook posts, planning those things out with you, helping you maintain your websites, just like helping people put their best foot forward. I say that I'm a creative eye for the business mind. So that's what I do.
Yeah, and you know, so that is basically, you know, that's your bread and butter. And, you know, it's what, as an entrepreneur, I know that that's what you do all day. You don't have time off, or you're not off at any time. So you're always in that space of, you know, tapping into your creativity and working, you know, from that angle. As one of those people that's not me, you know what I mean? I know for me, I'm like a scheduled type of person. So how does that differ, you know, on your day to day, you know, when you're working?
I have to force myself to have a schedule. So things have to be planned out, and it's when you're doing what you love to do. It's not like work is just, I wouldn't even call it that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like to get paid to do anything I wouldn't want to do anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just being able to live like that just makes it, okay, so today, what do you need me to do?
Yeah.
That's all. What do my clients or my friends or the people that I work for and with need me to do? And that's what I provide on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. And Lish, a.k.a. Gretzky. How much time do you dedicate, you know, on a regular basis to, you know, your art and your craft?
To my craft, I have a crazy method. I usually go through where I write every day, and then sometimes I take like a break, and I might just live, like, just as far as doing things I haven't done before, or, you know, really staying in the present, and just taking things from a different routine. That way you have something to write about, because it's good to write every day, but at the same time, if all you're doing is writing, when are you really living what you're writing about? Yeah. So that's kind of how my phases go. And then sometimes, as far as where I'm welding, as far as like right now, my 9 to 5, just for, you know, till things really get popping. Yeah. I might have something come to me, and I just stop what I'm doing at work, go jot it in my phone, then get back to work, and then I might get off of work, be in my truck, sitting there, and then something hit me, and I go to writing. Yeah. And so it's just, you know, different methods, very unorthodox, but it works for me. And then other times I might just freestyle, and everything come to me at once, and might write a whole song just in one sitting, so it just depends. Yeah. Yeah. I just try to listen to myself. Chakra. Yeah, cool.
was that, because another passion that you guys kind of talked about or wrote down and told me was a passion of you guys is Black love. Part of love I definitely know is support. So talk about, being able to support each other on that level, you know what I mean, as far as creativity. Because I think that is a huge part. Is normally they tell you that you can't really or you shouldn't really go after a passion when it's something in the creative world.
Yeah.
But yeah, talk about being able to support each other on that level.
Well, she clutched, first of all. Like, she set me up for my first photo shoot.
Mm-hmm.
We done had our own little photo shoot / rendezvous where she took pictures, like, with my iPhone, but you wouldn't really be able to tell. So once we get this camera, like, it's really on.
Yeah.
But just really supportive. She set up with some studio time. We didn't get to work with each other yet, but, it's in the making. Then as far as just having our own studio at the spot now, at the apartment we living in,
Mm-hmm.
like, very supportive. And as far as with her work, helping her out with certain things, but I let her talk. She can explain. I don't talk for her.
Well, first of all, his personality helps with what I do as far as, like, being organized and just being able to, he's ex-military, too, so, like, just, the onion.
Mm-hmm.
And loving to read and kind of, like, having an extensive vocabulary so that it adds to what I'm doing and keeps me focused on what I'm doing. But the fact that we both kind of are the type of people where you're like, you shouldn't follow a passion, we don't do the shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
We don't believe in the good, bad. Like, life is what it is. Life is about self-development, self-love, like,
Yeah.
that part doesn't matter. Like, we think very differently, but it seems like to be the same. So the support comes naturally.
Yeah.
Even down to, like, typing emails, like, just little itty-bitty things, making sure that things are done on time. It's just, it's very organic. And I'm that type of person. I'm a real, you know me, right? I'm a real universally led person. Like, it has to work. Like you said, my chakras gotta align and light up, and they gotta, like, that's how I flow. So this, like, works very naturally and kind of very much against the curve of what it should look like or what people could probably understand.
They say you shouldn't should yourself. Don't should yourself to death, So yeah, I definitely understand that, and being able to, on your own relate to, what the other person does is a big deal as well. You can kind of put yourself in that space and know what it is you need and what you require and be able to offer that. And that's a big deal. Let's kind of go into a little bit of, my spiel, things I got to say on the radio. You are listening to WRUULP Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings Community Radio with Global Soul. I'm your host here, Ray Carr. I am here doing a little show called Let's See Who My Friends Are. We're here every Monday night from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Where we come out. Someone in the community comes out and tells about themselves, tells about their experience, their passions, things like that. I want to remind you that the Savannah River Keeper presents the 8th annual Roast on the River, a benefit for the organization, the primary guardian of the Savannah River, providing education, advocacy, and action for the river's 10,000 square mile watershed. The event will take place on Hogan's Marina on Wilmington Island on January 20th, 2018. For more information, visit the Savannah Riverkeeper.org. If you enjoy the programming here on WRUU, we ask that you please support the station with a donation. As an individual, you can give any amount, become a basic station member, or become a serious fan of the station. So to check out membership rates and to donate to the station, go to www.wruu.org/individual and select to donate monthly or subscribe to an annual membership. Again, to donate, go to the station, go to www.wruu.org/individual and select to donate monthly or to subscribe to the annual membership. Thank you for listening to and supporting WRUU-LP. This is a community radio station. They offer, folks like me here in the community with absolutely no reason to be on the radio, an opportunity to come out here and do, your type of show. So we ask, that the hosts here, we aren't paid. We come out here and we do this to offer just a variety of different, radio programming in keeping with the mission here of the station. And so we thank you guys, and we appreciate you listening, and also appreciate you, looking into donating and supporting the station. Keep us on the air. Keep us bringing wonderful people to you guys. Like I said, tonight here in the studio I have Miss Jazzmyn and Mr. Lish Groves, aka Gretzky. They've been out here, talking with me, talking about, their experience here in Savannah. They're also a couple. One of the things that they've expressed they have a passion for is Black love. And I'll ask the question, why not just love? Why Black love?
For me, and when I say that I support Black love, Black community, Black self-development, it's because I have to. Like, in supporting if I don't do that and focus on myself, then who will? My whole experience as a Black person, I can only offer that kind of love coming from myself. And I feel like it's very important for us, particularly, I think that we need to hold on to or develop some kind of culture as Black Americans. So when I say Black love, that means develop something, love yourself, like form some sense of community. And that does not mean that you don't love everyone else. It just means that you definitely love yourself and you want your people to be the best versions of themselves. So, and I just, that's my current experience.
And yourself?
I feel this loving ourselves, like she said, but not needing acceptance from anybody else. Just, like, not always looking at other races as a standard or feeling like, it has to be the same, because we weren't born to be the same. We're born to be different. Even within our own race, nobody's the same. So I feel we have to really realize that and just, like she said, love ourselves. Like, so that's what it's all about, Black love. That melanin, feeling that power, and just to continue to uplift our brothers and sisters.
I'm guessing, well, not really guessing, but, having that same passion for, loving self, loving our people, loving, just each other, period, definitely bonds a relationship. What has your guys' experience, just as a couple kind of coming together with that same type of ideal of, look, it's about Black love, it's about loving ourselves. What has your experience been? Any weird happenings or anything?
It's like almost every day, seeing like just going out in public, like just different weird things that you'll see going on, like the way people interact once you get in close proximity, like like you said, you felt the energy when we first came in here. Like wherever we go, like we feel the energy, we feel the eyes, the way they stare, like the way they react, like. So it just brings us closer together. That's point blank period, I guess. And also just within ourselves, like ups and downs, times we have arguments, or that we always communicate and we work through it. And each time we just bond and get stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
I feel like my experience has been, I love myself even more. Like, I couldn't have been able to love like I do, freely like I do, if I didn't love myself. And then having this relationship, I appreciate that about myself. I appreciate being able to communicate, like you said, and also it's helped me to look at other people in a different light, to have a better relationship with everyone around me. Love is to me like the answer to everything.
Yeah. It's absolutely, I feel, one of the biggest and best motivators. They say usually the question is love and the answer is love. You can solve just about anything with love. So yeah, absolutely, with something that huge as the motivator, it definitely fuels a relationship, and it's good to have, the experiences of positivity, because even outside, it radiates outside of the current relationship. What are some of the hurdles to to Black love as you see it? What are some of the things that you see that kind of stunt our growth in that area?
Let me be very anxious and
focus in. Right, she's right there.
We're not designed to love each other. I feel like there's, with no conspiracy or anything like that theory, just in the information that's being fed to us and the things that we enjoy, we are not built to come together. We're not built to love each other. We're in all these complicated situations. We're not equipped to love ourselves, and so we don't even know how to, we don't understand ourselves, we don't know where we came from, where we going, like, none of that. So how can you really be equipped to actually love each other? Like our parents, in my experience, I don't know everyone else's, but in my Black home, we didn't talk about things, certain things that should have been talked about, and it's by design, and it was executed properly, and it worked very well. So I feel very fortunate to even have the experience that I'm having right now.
Yeah. Anything?
Pretty much sums it up.
You don't have to be afraid to answer that question. Do you look on your show? Do you feel like our system is designed for us to actually love each other without, or
No, I feel the world is really afraid. I mean, that's a lot of power. It's a lot of melanin. So if it really were to come together, like, and not even in a fearful way, I just feel like the world doesn't want peace and love, and I think that's how it will go. But it's all good, because eventually, like, it always triumph.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna stop for a second and put a little plug in there that I'm always looking for not just couples but individuals that want to come out and talk about that particular topic, just love and understanding self and how that translates into loving someone else, how different systems, whether intentional or unintentionally, affect the way we feel about ourselves, which also reflects and affects the way that we communicate and the way that we share and show love to each other. Usually I have my co-host, Mr. Muscle Rick, who is not with us this evening. But yeah, that is a topic, so if you guys would like to come back at some point, or know a couple of people that are passionate, especially about the topic, and on the opposite end of the topic as well. Because good debate, I definitely think, is eye-opening. Not in a sense to argue, but in a sense to share our opinions and share our experiences.
That's love too, right? Accepting other people are different. Like, we're not all going to be the same.
Exactly. Because there's nothing that drives me more insane. And, is somebody saying, oh, I love you, but as soon as your opinion differs, you know what I'm saying, they chop your limb off the family tree, like,
yeah, you're not even in this family no more.
You firewood, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that is something, that people need to realize as well, that is a part of love, is that acceptance, quote unquote, part of it, where we may not have the exact same opinion, but the opportunity to share my opinion is definitely an expression of love, and vice versa. So and kind of cutting off there, like, just saying to our listeners, if you have an opinion, a strong opinion, want to come out and run your mouth and hang out with us, on a Monday night and talk about love. That is a topic that I love to talk about, love and relationships and how we relate to each other. Not necessarily just man and woman, but, there's so many relationships in 2018 that are, quote unquote, supposed to be the closest and most sacred relationships, but are so in jeopardy because we have a lack of understanding of who we are, as an individual, as a race, as a people, just a lack of understanding, period, and a lack of tapping into the awesome power that we can be as human beings. So yeah, come on out and chit chat with us, and hang out. Y'all see, we not doing anything extra that y'all know of. Yeah, we're not doing anything extra in here, just hanging out and talking about ourselves, and talking about our experiences. One more time, I'm going to remind you guys that if you enjoy our programming here on WRUULP, to please support the station with a donation. As an individual, you can give any amount, become a basic station member, or become a serious fan of the station. So to check out our membership rates and to donate to the station, go to www.wruu.org/individual and select to donate monthly or subscribe to an annual membership. Again, to donate to the station, go to www.wruu.org/individual and select to donate monthly or subscribe to an annual membership. Thank you for listening to and supporting WRUULP. Thank you for listening to Let's See Who My Friends Are. I'm still hanging out here with my guests, Miss Jazzmyn Jones, Mr. Lish Gross. We've been talking about creativity. We've been talking about love. Another thing that you guys kind of mentioned is just or what I get from you guys is a passion for just living life. And so what are some of your aspirations? I definitely believe putting out into the universe with a pure heart, with a heart of just accepting from the universe what it has for you. It is definitely one of those ways that we start to kind of move closer to our goals. So I always ask about what it is you guys are open to accepting and receiving, especially today on 1/1/18. I don't know about y'all, I'm always excited at the beginning of the year, like it's so many possibilities. So, and then, just for the nature of what I do, just the possibilities are so endless and huge that, I encourage you to, explore that in a big way. So tell us about all the wonderful things y'all expecting in the near future, in the far future, or whatever.
in the near future, I want to work for myself, stop punching the clock. As far as far future, I want to really change everything around me as far as the people, like family. I want to be able to change their lives as far as not just with monetary and buying things, but helping to see the values behind it and really take different perspectives on life. You know, put yourself in other people's shoes more often and really try to make a difference. Teaching people how to fish and not just throwing them salmon.
Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah. And yourself, Jazzmyn?
I would like to grow my business so that I really see this year one of my clients or two where everybody just popping. Like I can feel it. I can feel the energy of it. I want to have like my first. I'm gonna say this out loud because I want to y'all, and I really believe in speaking what you believe. I like to have a writing retreat. I like to be able to sit down and just house my experience as a person on paper and help other people to do that. And so that's what I see for this year: growth, just in every aspect of my life, and just really living to be the free person I profess to be. Totally, like 100% in my life, no holds barred, just because that's my passion, like being happy.
I like to say that, you know, freedom above all things is what the spirit, is what the soul craves. And when you realize, one, that, hey, that's what I'm looking for, because a lot of people don't realize that that's what it is that their goal is. When you realize and you start to actualize, like, oh my goodness, that feeling of freedom, of, you know, actual choice, not the things that people think is freedom, you know, and definitely not jumping on every impulse that you have, because that's not freedom either, in my opinion, you know. But you know what I'm saying, when you realize that this is what I'm looking for, you know what I mean, so many things become uncomfortable, you know, like punching the clock and you know, like having a schedule and, you know what I'm saying, things like that. So, yeah, I see that, you know, I see a lot more people as of late, you know, saying, like, look, I desire to be untethered. I don't want nothing holding me down, you know what I mean? So, I commend people that are, you know, definitely using their creativity, using just that wealth, that ocean of power to definitely get there. That is a big deal. But we were talking earlier, and I think Lish has a poem that he wants to share with us.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get in that.
It's called Separation. I love you, but I don't know if you're good for me. You feel good, but when it's time to leave you, the people run from me. Dark and mute, a distinct somber. In my bed, we cuddle often. I leave you as I enter the world, but yet always feel you around me. I converse, but your picture is clearer. We've shared many talks in front of the mirror. Some nights I feel I would have been chalk if I didn't hold you close. I get more than a dose of you, but can I OD? Would it even notice me? I feel you hug me tighter when my veins are lightening, and when it storms we gaze. So amazed, knowing you always agree with me. But are you really good for me? I had so much you losing grip with any sympathy. The dead silence has become a soothing symphony as I attempt to close my eyes. You ride the most, trying to remind me of folks. I've got better at separating those thoughts or the irony. Old jobs I ran to you, so I wouldn't tell the boss to fire me. Ironically, I left with you, a constant journey. Whenever I'm not alone, I feel you tugging and yearning. I'm trying to be normal for a sec, could you stop it? The exit from Dolo, you know how I'm rocking. You only accept my close ones. Anyone else you consume me. And it's like I'm holding a mouthful. Cold lips in summer. My tongue falls victim to the cat. Don't want to interact. You whisper time to retract. Now we back at square one. Don't think things will ever be different. No matter how close I am, me and you will live together from a distance.
Yay! Awesome! Thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's a big deal when you can express yourself, you know, deeply from a place, and then also entertain and inspire and enlighten, and all of those things. So thank you so much for sharing that,
No
you know,
problem.
with us, and that was awesome. How awesome is it to hang out, to be with, you know, your guy that's, you know, thinks on that level, on a deep level, and creativity and things like that. You laugh, and I wish my co-host was here. My husband, Mr. Muscle Rick, you know, he is very much a creative type as well, and writes poetry and things like that. And you know, people ask the same question, "Oh, that's so cool," and I'm like, okay.
So you already know.
Because
You already know. It's too cool. No, I'm just
so I know what my answer is, and that's why I'm laughing at putting you on the spot as far as your answer.
I appreciate it because I feel like it's an exercise with us. Like, I don't know, I could say a lot. I'm trying not to say so much. Yeah. Call each other twin flames. So it's nice to actually understand someone completely, and to not be not to make a decision like based off anything else besides your heart, or besides, well, it's your mind too, besides it just being the right decision to make. No external influences, everything just coming from yourself, and all the energy coming from the other person. So it's awesome being with a creative mind. And a deep mind at the same time, and I'm actually understanding the words that are coming out of your mouth, right? Because everybody's not going to always understand you.
Good stuff. One of the things I always ask is about, you know, given an opportunity to talk to, you know, let's say we have, you know, 1 million listeners. My 1 million listeners, 1 million listeners tonight on 1/1/18. You know, so let's say we have 1 million listeners, and you have an opportunity to, you know, say a message or give, you know, your thoughts to 1 million people, and in some way influence or change them. You know, what would you say to them in that sense?
I would say reflect on everything that's happened in your life, as far as what you learn, challenge it, clear it, you write your own life and live it.
That's deep. That's absolutely deep. We definitely, the things that we learn program us. And after a while, and I think a lot of people are getting to that place where they're starting to question whether their intentions, desires, motivations, thoughts, feelings, whether they're, you know, their own, whether they're, you know, authentic. So, absolutely, that's wonderful advice. You know, kind of look at all the things that you've learned in your life, and figure it out, look at it, inspect it, and pick out what's good for you. You know what I mean? And leave the things that definitely are holding you back. Because when you take that look back, you know, you kind of change your vantage point, and you kind of see it's like, wow, this one thing or this one group of actions or things like that has always kind of held me up. So, you know, definitely, that's wonderful advice. And Jazzmyn, what's that, you know, thing that you would tell 1 million people?
I'm such a Gemini, so like 5 different things are good. So I'm going to stick with everything starts with self. I think that's something that people need to know. It all begins with you. It ends with you. Not like you're not promised anything, but the last day that you have upon the first day being here. So you have to like completely learn about what's best for you, and give into what's best for you, and live your life for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. You always kind of see people, or you hear people say, you know, be the change. Even you know, in things like, changing other people's perspective and changing, other people's way that they deal with you, it begins with you first and foremost. If you hear people say things like be the change that you want to see and all of those things, but not realizing, like, look, well, every time that you change something about you, you affect and change something about, the next person. I think that's a big deal in, just us relating to each other. Well, first and foremost, us relating to ourselves, because we could definitely be our own worst relationship. The worst relationship you have
Worse
is
worse.
yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, that's some great advice for us out there to kind of think about as well. Everything begins with you. Yeah, some good stuff. So my million listeners, take heed, because that's some absolutely great advice. Thank you guys so much. This hour just went by. Our hour went by just well. I think we have about 4 or 5 minutes left in the evening. I want to say thank you so very much to you, Jazzmyn, for saying yes so wonderfully quickly. For you, Lish, for coming out and saying yes as well, so wonderfully quickly. I certainly appreciate you guys coming out and introducing yourself, for helping to support this, for helping to support my vision of what, let's see who my friends are, is supposed to be about you guys kind of coming out and telling about yourselves. And I definitely believe that revelation, just revealing about yourself, breeds intimacy. When you reveal to people, you feel even that much more connected to them. So yeah, I think it's a big deal to come out and be somewhat transparent about who you are, and say the things that come up, and just kind of leave it all out there, and then get it recorded and put on the internet forever and ever.
Look, I'm like, don't do it if you don't want people to know.
Exactly.
That's how I live. If you don't want people to know what you're doing, don't do it.
Exactly.
So be upset, be whatever. I'm going to live freely.
Yay.
Straight up.
Yay. Well, I appreciate you guys. If ever, I'm always looking for folks to come on out and hang out with me. Next week, you guys, Muscle Rick will be back. We'll be back here in the station, and we'll have another guest come on and tell us about herself. Miss Love Shamar. She is, you see her out at all the poetry events and things like that hosting, and she's going to come out and tell us about her and tell us about her experience here in Savannah. I look forward to being back here. This is some relief for me, just to come out and talk to the microphone and my million listeners out there. So I look forward to being here next week. I hope you guys look forward to having me back here on next week. And yeah, I'm going to put you guys on some music, some soothing music as you kind of end the rest of our evening. You are listening to WRUULP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings Community Radio with Global Soul. This is, let's see who my friends are. This is Ray Carr, your host. I'm signing out. I'll see y'all next week.
WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings Community Radio with Global Soul.
Listening to WRUULP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, WRUU.org. We are Savannah Soundings Community Radio with Global Soul.
Thank you, guys.
I'm so glad I didn't read that until now. Just right here, back here, because I would have probably said something just because I read it. Why is it so profane? It really caught me off guard.
You know what I was gonna say? I was gonna point it out, but then I was like, no. I remember how I was.
I can't say tits. Could I say titties? Is it like what? No.
See,
No.
that's what was gonna be going through your eyes. Looked at
See,
it, and I was
that's
gonna
right.
point it out, and I was like, you know, the first time I saw it, I was like,
Don't do it, because I would have definitely been like,
That's really got caught.
it really sucks.
not to mention this was part of the People Church building. This is
I
the
did
church
see
building.
some outside. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes.
like little kids. Stop it.
Or any oh, never mind. I didn't read it. Or any variation on these words. So that answers my question.
I'm surprised though at tits.
Well, you can say like boobies, I'm sure, which is a variation, but not titties, which is probably the one they're talking about.
Breasts.
On automation.
Wait, is that stuff?
Probably.